This past spring, I cut this cord of wood using only axes. I did not use a saw of any kind at any point in the processing of any of this wood. Now, doing that accelerated my skills with an axe and just general kind of wood butchering practical skills drastically in a very short period of time, which is what I had hoped for. Now, part of the reason I did that whole project was so that I could challenge you guys to do the same thing. Now, I don't think that this is a challenge you should take lightly. It is a lot of work, and it is dangerous, and it takes some, commitment. Today, I'm beginning to move my wood into the woodshed. Once that's all done, I'm set for the winter, and it's time to start thinking about next year, and maybe getting, wood cut through the winter even. I have to make some handles, maybe, haft up some new axes, get my gear together, think about that stuff, and think about ways to get some more people involved. And that would be fun for me to have other people involved. And maybe some kind of incentive. I might come up with an incentive for you guys. Alright, I got my firewood stacked for the winter. I love that feeling of having my firewood stacked. I just need to get a few boxes of kindling together, so that's all prepared. And then move on, mentally move on. And I had that frantic squirrel in the fall feeling that I need to get my act together for the winter. It feels so good to have done this project, and I can't wait to start putting this wood in the fireplace. It's going to mean so much more to me every time I come out here and get an armload of wood, every time I pick up a piece of it and put it in the stove. Entirely different feeling that I have from using my chainsaw cut wood. So yeah, the Cordwood challenge. This video is basically just a trailer teaser, a sort of trailer teaser preview thing of the Axe Cordwood challenge. So the plan is to put a challenge together to challenge people to cut a quantity of wood, probably between a quarter cord and 2 cords, whatever seems appropriate for your situation and skill level and goals and time and wood access, etc. And I'll probably put together some kind of incentive, like maybe I'm thinking of like a leather merit badge or something of that nature, and then go around and promote it on the internet. So if you're here's a squirrel. If you're a novice axe user, I wouldn't take taking on this project too lightly. It is a lot of work, it's very dangerous, and it just takes a lot of time to gain skill in using an axe, so it's going to take even more time. And again, it's just unsafe. It's just unsafe to use an axe. And the less experienced you are, the more dangerous it is. On the other hand, doing something like this, as long as you have a lot of time, and we're trying to get an early start here, will accelerate your axe skills greatly. Doing this project where I had to use the axe, day after day for, half an hour to an hour at a time, and function under all conditions, cutting over my head, cutting in extremely awkward positions of all kinds, on steep slopes. It really accelerated my skill level and also my understanding of strategy and developing strategies that really work, because that's half the battle right there. Now, for people who are more experienced, axe collectors and users, and maybe people that have YouTube channels and blogs that talk about axes and using axes, I'm more likely to push you guys a little harder and really call you out to do this. I understand everybody can't do it for all kinds of reasons, but there's going to be people who will make excuses to do it and people who make excuses not to do it. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell, and I just wanted to make this quick video right now in the fall when we're not really thinking about cutting next year's firewood yet, because there's preparation time. Axes need to be dusted off, sharpened, rehung. Novices need to maybe acquire an axe at all and learn to sharpen it. Now, I wish I could recommend more good resources. There's a smattering of videos out on the internet that are pretty good showing the use of an axe. There's some instructional stuff, but there really isn't what is badly needed, which is a full instructional practical use of axes for firewood type of stuff. At least I haven't seen it. If you guys know of that, please leave links. I'm very interested in what's out there. But from what I've seen, I just feel like there's a gap that needs to be filled. Now, it may be that that doesn't exist or isn't common because for the same reasons that I don't feel like I really want to do it. I feel inadequate to the task. I think it's a really big responsibility to take on, showing someone how to use a tool that is so incredibly dangerous. On the other hand, letting those people go out and just learn on their own in the school of hard knocks, makes me shudder just to think of it. So I can recommend 2 books now, and I've said this in other videos: Bushcraft by Morris Kohansky and The Axe Book by Dudley Cook. Now, there's also one you can read online. I think it's by Bernard Mason, but I will link that in the description. Otherwise, I might make some videos and just try to figure out a way to do the videos that is relatively conservative and make sure I don't feel like I'm misinforming anyone or teaching them bad habits, because I'm not entirely convinced that my habits are safe. I just don't have that level of experience to where I feel that confidence. So I would appreciate anyone else's comments on very good, solid resources for learning to use an axe, because this is a problem for people who follow me on YouTube that might be interested in this. There's just, it's just such an uncommon thing to be good at using an axe. Nobody taught me anything in person ever. I just had to read books and start chopping and have a lot of close calls and near accidents and just, learn the hard way. And that is not the best way. People used to grow up using these things, and more importantly, they had men in their lives that they watched use them. And so by the time they even picked one up, they already knew what they were doing because they were learning visually. And this is something we have lost. This whole project, I feel, can really benefit a lot of people. Using an axe is relaxing. It's very rewarding. It's very challenging. It forces you to learn all kinds of stuff. It'll force you to learn about wood and about trees and about nature. It'll force you to learn about tools and sharpening. It'll force you to learn about woodworking and wood for handles. And in general, I just feel like it will help build the axe culture on the internet in a way that really keeps it real. I like to say this a lot: by putting ourselves in direct relation to our needs, our work in direct relation to our needs. It's like, I put this out, I get this back. It's closed kind of loop. I have my axe head, I can make a handle for it here, I use my axe, I pick up the wood, I set it in my woodshed, it goes to my stove. How many areas of our life have just become so disconnected now that we just are relying on technology that's built outside that is very complicated. Maybe your chainsaw breaks and you can't even fix it. You have to take it in. You can't build a chainsaw, chain. I could build an axe, I'm a moderately competent blacksmith. I've never made an axe, but I guarantee you I could build one in a few weeks with the scrap metal that's here. If I had to, I would figure it out. It might not be the best axe ever, but I could do it. So I really believe that there are so many valuable lessons to be learned from us putting ourselves and our work in direct relation to our needs as locally as possible, like on the ground. And we don't have to do this in every aspect of our lives. I'm not talking about some kind of radical self-sufficiency. I'm saying that if we do this, even on a small scale in just parts of our lives, it will benefit us and we will learn a lot of cool stuff. And that's what this project is all about. I hope some of you will consider taking me up on it. If I don't get at least 2 or 3 people, I'm gonna be bummed, honestly. I'll probably cry myself to sleep. Let's do it.